Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, Dinger Tuesday, the second week, April 9th. A lot of people showed up last week, over 1,000 views on the video. I'm very thankful for that. So let's get right down to it. I do these breakdowns every single Tuesday, and I will for the rest of the year, so make sure you come by and check them out. The first thing is this promo looks different for every sports bettor. You either have the unlimited version, where you can play any game and get $5 per home run up to $25 per game. You can play the whole slate if you want to. This is the best version of the promo. Or if you're like me, you have the limited version and you are only allowed to receive $25 total in bonus bets every Tuesday. So for the limited version, I like to say play 2 to 3 games max to get your value. And if you're in the unlimited version, I would weather the storm and I would play them all. My sheet every week is going to look the exact same. I'm going to have the matchup. I'm going to have the starting pitcher. I'm going to have some data on their innings pitched and their home runs allowed. For the first few weeks of the season, I'm going to have to look at last year's data until we get a bigger sample size for this year, and then I'll switch over, but I'll let you guys know when I do that. I look at Ballpark Pal's projected home runs in the game. Ballpark Pal is a tool that's not free anymore. It's $10 a month, which is like, 30 cents a day, and it breaks down. He has a model, and he runs a bunch of simulations, and he breaks down how many home runs can be expected in the game, giving all the factors. So it's a great tool. You can't use my code when you sign up. It's a joke. I'm trying to get him on board with doing some sort of promotional discount if you use certain codes. So stay tuned for that. I got my fingers crossed. The home run percentage that he gives is based on the typical amount of home runs hit at that park at that given day versus what it's going to be like today. Then finally, the GMG grade, or the Green Beans Go grade, is the grade that I have given it. If it's an A, it's a must play. I think you'll return 4 to 5 home runs, so $20 to $25 in free bets. A B will be 3 to 4. A C will be 2 to 3, and so on. And then I give 2 players. I give an A team and a B team every week. And there's not necessarily rhyme or reason to who I put in what spot, but I want to give 2 options in case people don't want to play a guy at 500. They'd rather play a guy at 680. It just gives people some flexibility in picking players. Some general notes before we get into the picks for today. Lineups do change, and I make my picks in the morning before all the lineups are out. So if there's any changes in my picks because of lineups, I will put that on Twitter. I do not devig or line shop these. I don't think it's worth the time because I have to play it on Fanduel anyway. A lot of people are going to do this. If you want value on Fanduel versus other books, there's people out there who do it. That's not my thing. For this promotion, I try to look at value, yes, but also handicapping. I typically don't go below a plus 300 home run hitter. It's just personal preference. But I have made money on this 3 years in a row. Last year was possibly my best year doing this. So I'm happy to help you guys out. And I used to be a teacher, and I quit teaching, and now I'm doing content full-time, or at least that's my dream, and that's what I'm starting to do. And in teaching, you had to give your objectives before each lesson. That was something we were forced to do. And so that's what I'm going to do on these videos. My objectives is just to help you guys find the right spots. This promo will be worth it in the long run if you are calculated with which games you target. And that all goes into maximizing the free bets earned and seeing the vision long term. There are hundreds of people out there on the internet giving you their picks for Dinger Tuesday today. Yes, I want to pick the right guys, but I think there's more value in picking the right spots over the long run because the guys are going to happen. All right. But if we can always be at the right parks and the right matchups, we're going to make more money long term. That's my vision. That's my objective. That's how I see it. Last week, we only hit 2. We hit Brian De La Cruz and we hit Seiya Suzuki, and it wasn't great. And I'm just going to warn you guys, it's cold. It's windy. The month of March, the month of April, and potentially the month of May could be brutal for us. But we're going to ride the storm, so to speak, and hopefully in June and July and August it pays off. Here are my actual stats if I bet all of them. Given how many home run dollars we earned and free bet conversion dollars we would have earned, we're down. Okay, we're down. And that's just what happens early. And again, we will weather the storm. Today's outlook is not great. I'll be completely honest. There's great pitching across America. There's lots of wind blowing in, and there's mild temps. All 3 of those things do not set up well. So if this is a week you think, maybe I'll just take the week off. Maybe I'll pick spots and be very selective. I don't blame you because I'm just warning you, it could be brutal out there. Our first game of the day starts at 12:30, and it's Detroit and Pittsburgh. I've given this grade a C. I think we'll get 2 to 3 home runs in this one. But the pro is I like a lot of bats in this one. I struggled to come up with 2 official plays because I think there are 4 to 5 guys that could be really solid here. Matt Verling at 6 or at 870. I may switch that out to an official play instead of Jack Swinski because Matt Verling at 870 leading off for Detroit, I think feels a little too generous. So, you know what? I'm going to switch it out. We're going to already call an audible on the first game. Put in Matt Verling, 870 for the Detroit Tigers leading off. Brian Reynolds, he hit one last night. I like him again today with this matchup. So give me him at 520. This game is also an early start at 2:30 p.m. and it is ugly. Corbin Burns is a top 15 pitcher in the MLB. Brian Bayo hasn't been fantastic over the course of his career, but the problem with this game is the wind is blowing in the opposite of the Green Monster. So in Boston, you have that huge wall in left field, okay? And then the wind is going to be coming in from right. So there's just going to be a force field for home runs. I expect 1 to 2 in this game. If I had to play, Ryan O'Hearn and Cedric Mullins would be my picks, but I would stay far away from this game. 6:11 is the third game. Soroka and Allen are pitching, and you can see Soroka has not had the best stats, and this is from last year. He didn't pitch a ton last year, only 32 innings pitched total last year, and he gave up 9 home runs. So I am targeting 2 Cleveland guys, Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez. Typically, I don't like to dip this low, even this close to 300, but I think there's the most value in these 2. The wind is blowing out towards the short wall, so I think this is your best spot if you want to go for one of the early or pre-7 p.m. games. I think this is the one you would be most likely returning value if you targeted. We have Milwaukee and Cincinnati at Great American, which is typically an easier park to hit home runs at. Ballpark Pal has it at 21% increase. Frankie Montas, these are this year's stats, 11 innings, last year's. He was hurt. It's besides the point because I am targeting 2 Reds players. I'm going up against Brewers pitching here. Nick Martini at 450 and Jake Fraley at 520, I think are good spots. If you want to go for a Brewers bat in this one, I would wait until lineups are out, but Jake Bauers is not listed on Fanduel right now. If he's above 500, I think he's a good spot against the righty and Frankie Montas. Overall, I don't think you can go wrong with this game except the fact that there could be some rain. So just keep your eye on the radar. It makes it tricky. I understand. It's tough to bet baseball for that reason. This game's going to be popular, I think, and for good reason. AJ Puck has not looked fantastic, and I am a big Carlos Rodon hater. I don't think he has what he used to have, and I think he can get hit hard. And for that reason, I know there's a lot of bats on the Yankees, but I'm actually targeting 2 Marlins here, Brian De La Cruz and Josh Bell, both mid-500s. This game I would play simply because the weather's fine, and I think the pitching will be suspect early. I think you could reach 3 home runs by the 5th inning, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Yankees do hit home runs, but I didn't like a lot of their prices. So Brian De La Cruz hit one for us last week. Out of respect, we have to go with him this week, right? I mean, it's only fair. So I'm taking those 2 if I were to play this game. Again, guys, I have the limited version, so I'm not sure which ones I'm actually going to play, but if I played this, these would be my plays. The game in Toronto is in a dome, so we don't have to worry too much about that, but the pitching is solid. The pitching is good. Polanco and Raleigh would be my plays, both for the Mariners, 420 and 350. Again, pretty low. This is a pretty standard game. You're probably going to get average home runs, 2 to 3, but I'm going to trust that George Kirby brings it today, so I'm going to target Seattle bats, and I do think Polanco at 420 is a good price. So Raleigh is probably about fair, but Polanco I think is a good spot there at 420. This game in Atlanta, it just is. I know I have Brett Batty here at 800, and I do have the comment that I prefer Atlanta bats, so that's kind of counterintuitive. I just mean by and large, I prefer the Atlanta bats in this situation. It could rain. It's maybe going to be 70-ish degrees. I'm not optimistic you're going to get a ton of home runs, 2 to 3, and I think Atlanta are going to be the guys that hit them for you. New York had quite a few home runs last night, so maybe they'll ride that momentum into this game, but I see maybe a bit of a fall off after last night. Just kind of a vanilla game and not one I'm super interested in playing. Just like this one, this game in Kansas City is ugly. I give it it's an F, guys. The wind is blowing in. Kansas City's already a hard park to hit at. You have two aces on the mound. This is horrible. Jose Abreu at 630, MJ Melendez at 470. But do not play this game, please. Awful. Game in Minnesota could be good because the wind is blowing out, and I think there are a lot of heavy bats in this game. Tyler Glasnow may scare away some people. We'll see how he looks. I mean, he's had a few starts already this year, so I don't know. There are multiple angles you could attack with. Is he fresh versus is he warmed up? So I'm not too worried. James Outman at 600, plus 600 I think is a good spot for a Detroit bat, and Max Kepler at 500 is good. I think he was in the 300s last week, so you're getting a better price on him, I presume, because of Tyler Glasnow being on the mound, but I think it's a good matchup. So decent spot. This one was almost a B, and I think it could earn the score of a B, but right now we'll say estimate 2 to 3 home runs. This game's ugly, and it's because of pitching and it's because of weather. And I would stay away from this one, just like I would stay away from Kansas City. I would think there's going to be 1 to 2 home runs in this game. Burleson and Marsh would be my picks. I'm going wild on picks here because I can't pay for a plus 400 guy when the weather's this bad. It's just, I don't think it will return the value. So ugly game, stay away from this game. These are my official plays regardless. This game in Texas is in a dome, so you have the luxury there. I don't care for any Oakland A's bats against Eovaldi in this one, and for that reason, I would target Rangers. I'd love to wait till the lineup came out because I didn't like the lineup projection that MLB Roto Grinders gave, and I think we may see some shifts, so I had to kind of play it safer. These will be my official plays unless I tweet out changes, but Marcus Semien at 360 and Wyatt Langford at 500 would be my picks for this one. This one just doesn't feel right. I know Garcia is going to be a lot of people's choice at 240, but again, I don't love that price. I don't love that spot. So this one feels like I should feel better about it, and I don't. Probably won't play it with my limited version. This is your classic can't go wrong spot. Any game in Coors is going to likely earn a B unless there's some crazy situation. The Rockies won last night. Charlie Blackmon hit a home run. He's usually a guy I like to target. But tonight I'm fading Charlie Blackmon in a game against Merrill Kelly, and I'm going with Corbin Carroll at 460, which I think is a fantastic price on him, and Ryan McMahon at 440. But again, this is a can't go wrong spot. I can see 3 home runs at a minimum hit here, upwards of 5. So if you want to return your value, this is probably one of the top 3 games of the night. Game in the Los Angeles Angels Stadium is actually pretty good. It's actually going to be solid because the wind will be blowing out, and I'm going to target Patrick Sandoval here, and that could be a choice that I come to regret. But I've given this a B, and I think we should get about 3 to 4 home runs, and I feel really good about Isaac Paredes and Jose Siri. I don't know why. I just saw those names, I saw the matchup, and I said, these are the guys tonight. My gut just spoke and said, write those 2 guys down. You may get both. You may parlay them. Why not? All right. So these 2 are probably my favorite picks of the night, even though I don't know if this is the highest value game you're going to get. I do like these 2 in their matchup. This game's horrible. San Francisco is not a park that batters hit a lot of home runs in, like Kansas City, and I don't even want to talk about it. Mike Yastrzemski and Lamonte Wade Jr. would be my picks, even though I think those lines are too low given the situation. So heck that game. That sucks. And similarly, the game in San Diego, the late game, is also not great. But I think we have value in Hong Sung Kim at 870 and Mike Tauchman at 12 to 1. Brother, okay? That's insane. Mike Tauchman can hit a bomb. And I love the matchup against Musgrove. So I don't know. I'm shocked to see him at 12 to 1. And if you want a super flyer, wild, you don't care about money, I think Mike Tauchman's your guy. I got some suggestions. People said, I love your content, man, but I didn't like how you didn't show us it all at the end. I didn't like the fact that I had to scroll through. So here you go. I'm a man of the people, even though I'd like you to watch my video and hear my reasoning on all these. As you can see, I've already changed Matt Verling here. to 870. He's the official play. Forget Jack Sawinski. So you know what that means. Jack's going yard today. Second half slate. Here it is. You got them all. Just a final wrap up as we get into the end of this video. I want to keep it under 60, and that's long freaking video. Let me know if this is too much time and I can shorten it down. My top 3 games would be the game at Coors, Kelly and Cantrell here. Maybe the game in LA. I'm going to avoid the Cincinnati game just because of the rain. It scares me away. I think the game in Cleveland is okay, but I don't trust a lot of the White Sox bats, and I don't think they're going to produce. So Miami and New York would probably crack the top 3. So let's go game in Coors, game in New York, and then I guess, again, because of bats, I'm going with a C game here, which doesn't make a ton of sense, I get, but maybe this will be my 3rd best game. So that's what I got for you today. I don't know if DraftKings is bringing back NBA Threes Day. If they do, I'll have that video up in an hour. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to remember to link it here. If it is back, you can check that out as well. Thanks for coming by. Again, if you have suggestions or anything you'd like to see, please comment. I'm happy to make adjustments on this. I do this for you guys. So hopefully it helps, and we will see you next Tuesday.